Hi, Sarah. Thank you so much for joining today. I am wildly excited to kick this series off of Watch This Woman series, and I am so honored to have you a part of it. What I've encountered in the last couple of years, and I'm sure you have too, is I think the stigma or persona that women need to pick one thing to be successful at, and you can't be successful at both. And I think it's this narrative that, we're hearing it's not true. And what I want to bring across to this audience is that women can have the ability to be successful in all arenas. And it's no longer this, I have to be a mom and be successful at being a mom, or I have to, be a business owner or excel in my career or that sort of thing, or excel at being a wife, but that you really truly can be successful in all of these different arenas. And women are really we're really changing the game at what that looks like. So I've started this Watch This Woman series, and it's really is, watch Sarah and see how she does life because you have been such, just an amazing friend, counterpart, and very successful businesswoman who is married and has a wonderful relationship with her husband and has children and had this company. And so it's, creating this area and outlook for all of us to see that you women really can do it all. So I want to, allow Sarah to have the platform, but I also want to introduce Sarah a little bit to our audience. Sarah and her husband Ben, who I also know who's equally as incredible, founded Hugh and Grace. It's a lifestyle wellness brand that promotes hormone health with life-changing skincare, health, and home products that deliver amazing results and help minimize exposure to hormone disrupting chemicals. As the leader in the hormone health movement, Hugh and Grace has trusted products that go on and in and around your body, and a healthy minded community and lifestyle opportunity. Sara and Ben Jensen founded Hugh and Grace after their 14-year struggle with unexplained infertility. Doing their research, a revelation surfaced. The reality that the reality that many everyday products like skincare and home cleaning products are absorbed into your bodies and have the power to disrupt our hormones. The average woman exposes herself to over 160 unique chemicals per day, and men over 80, which can lead to significant health issues. Fueled by this discovery, they created Hugh and Grace to create awareness, education, products, and community, and named the company after their miracle children, made possible by two of their sisters who volunteered to be their surrogates. So, Sarah, thank you so much. So, can you please tell the audience a little bit about who you are and what you do with Hugh and Grace?
Yes, Megan, thank you for having me. And I just smile every time I hear that story, even though of our sisters being our surrogates and just Hugh and Grace make me smile. Um, my husband and I, as Megan mentioned, we founded Hugh and Grace based on this revelation that we have products that impact our hormones and really understand. You're a medical expert. We're not medical experts, and it was our discovery of learning how much hormones impact our lives, and that really fueled us to found this company. So hi, I'm Sarah. I am co-founder, co-CEO, co-parent to Hugh and Grace. I work with my husband, which he is wonderful, and it's wonderful and also terrible at the same time. So, and I like, you asked me to kind of talk about like myself, kind of lead with things that we've accomplished. When I was little, I'm the oldest of six kids. My mom's a stay-at-home mom. And so all I ever knew, my grandma was a stay-at-home mom. So all I ever knew in life was to be a stay-at-home mom. And so we got married young. I thought that's what I was going to be. And then not ever being able to get pregnant um, and not ever being able to be a mom for so many years really pushed me and said, okay, what do I do? Like, what do I do with my life now? And so I went to graduate school. I had my MBA. I was class president of my MBA class at USC. And I think that was one of the first things that I was really proud to go and achieve. We've just received a Real Leaders of Impact Award for our mission for Hugh and Grace, which is incredible. We are a very fast growing business. I'm trying to think of anything like success. So going back to the story of like I just always want to be a mom, and now I'm finally a mom. So that is a huge part of my I feel like my success, and that we were able to have what we wanted, but then also creating Hugh and Grace which really creates a platform to help a lot of primarily women, but other people have achieved success as well, is something that we're very proud of.
And I think that platform is whether you want to be a mother and be a successful mother, it's like you can also have a career and use the amazing career opportunities through Hugh and Grace. And so that's one of the main reasons, outside of having amazing products, is like it's this whole cascade of helping people be successful and educate them, but you're having this trickle down effect of like you're helping women and men, if they choose to, be involved with not only their health and educating them on their health, but like how to have a successful business and how to have a successful opportunity and career as whatever you choose, if that is motherhood or all of that. So
Yeah.
yeah, I it your success is everyone else's success as well on this train of helping people.
Oh, well, thank you. You know, we finally had our kids. My husband was operating a multi-billion-dollar family office out of Beverly Hills. I've always worked in philanthropy, and so I went back to work at USC, and I was working with our top alumni and parents across the country, raising transformative gifts. And so we finally have our kids, and I'm like, Ben, I don't want to be on an airplane every single week, and I don't, and, he didn't want to be working nights, weekends, crazy, crazy hours. And we said, we finally have this. What is our definition of success, and how do we create that? And we surround ourselves with these, billionaires, and kind of seeing the outside, like, yes, outside looking out, like we're looking in, it looks amazing. But then we were saying, Ben and Sarah, what is our, like, we want to be with our kids. We call it mixing lifestyle with livelihood. Like, how do we actually have success in multiple areas of our life? Because you really can have it all.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the things is like when you start being involved with people who are billionaires, are very successful, it's like their top three priorities are pretty much the same as ours. And that's being with family, making an impact, and, creating this legacy, through financial or whatever that looks like. So, I think it sometimes has lost or really kind of there's this whole opportunity of whatever we define success as is a lot of times the same. The more you have these conversations with people, it's very similar in terms of like what is that success. So Sarah, you make success look easy. It's not. It's a lot of time, it's a lot of effort, it's a huge commitment. But if you could choose three things related to your health, whether that's, whatever it is, health practices, health rituals that have contributed to your success, what are three things that have made a big impact that you would like to share with our viewers?
Well, I'm actually going to give you credit for some of these
Oh,
because I remember it was last summer, and I was saying we go on the summer tour, and we are traveling really every single day, different places, meetings, events. And I said, like, man, I'm so stressed. I'm overwhelmed, gaining weight, all this stuff. And you're like, do you take your wellness products? I'm like, every day? I'm like, not every day. And so what we actually helped us create, we put our three top selling products, and it's called the routine. And that is the first thing in the morning I do. I take our morning supplements with first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. It gives me energy. It helps focus. It helps me reduce stress. I put our collagen in our coffee. Pour it in there, mix. It's odorless, tasteless. Put it in there, and then I have our hydrate detox drink, which is L-glutathione. It's prebiotics, probiotics. It's fiber, magnesium. It's everything you need in one drink, and that starts off like as first thing in the morning. And what that does is it helps me get in a great mindset. It helps me feel like, okay, even if the day goes all downhill from there, I have that in my system, and it's easy. It tastes good. It's my morning ritual. Walking. Second, I'd say is walking. I used to be an ultra marathoner. I used to run 100 miles a week, and then the doctor said that my fertility doctor said that running chicken doesn't lay the egg, so I had to stop. but but I think just walking and being out in the sunshine, being out in nature, is something that is really helps me ground me and fills my soul, fills my cup, and helps me be a better person. And then I would say third is spending time with loved ones. And I know but the quality time. When I come in at night, I like put my phone in the other room, and I don't have a Apple Watch, so I don't want to have any notifications. I just want to be able to kind of breathe. And And breathing. I mean, we actually will do. We have a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old, and they get really worked up. And we'll actually breathe together, do box breathing as a family together. And so that's kind of 4. So breathing,
Love it.
walking,
Love it.
the wellness routine in the morning, and then loved ones.
Yeah. And I think there's like two aspects. If you look at or have heard of like the blue zones, like the blue zones are the most amount of centurions or the most amount of people who live over 100 years old. And one of the things that they've studied is community and like being out in nature and walking is contributes to this ability to live to be at least 100. And I think, this whole theory of thought is like, yeah, I want to live to be 150, but if you're living to be 150 and we have this, common denominator, if we just want to live the longest, it's like, but what's your quality of life during those 150 years? And that's one of the main things we look at is like, we want you healthy, we want you thriving, we want you to wake up and yes, business might be crazy, but at least you felt good during that time. And you felt good during these stressful days. I mean, my gosh, like, I mean, I'm always like, oh, I had like 6 hours of sleep and I feel like my hair and my skin is treacherous. And it's like, I look at you and I'm like, whatever Sarah does, I want that. Like your hair and skin. I mean, you always look amazing. So clearly what you're doing works. But I think too, one of the essence or I think these biohackers or these people, that these articles and news stories are written up and it's like they're spending millions of dollars a year on their health. And it's like really what is going to be so different about their ability to age versus ours? And it's like really the science shows like these simple free practices have such a profound impact, like getting outside, walking, exposing yourself to sun, being around family or people you love and enjoy. It's like it doesn't have to be hard. We want to complicate health. We want to create this, like strict regimen and you have to do these things and be so rigid. It's like, but that's actually not what's going to have the biggest impact. And it's like committing to your routine or the routine and getting outside is like so amazing for your nervous system and for your stress levels. And I always tell women in particular, you can't lose weight if you're not regulating or at least managing your stress. And so that's something you've focused on and it's you've made a huge impact on that. So we love to hear simple practices that anyone can implement. So thank you for sharing. I think you kind of already answered this, but one of the things that I think I too have to check in with myself is like, is this really making me happy? And is this really contributing to my happiness and my success? And for women, I think we're put in this position of it's like, even if it doesn't make me happy, I'm still going to do it. And I think a lot of times women are stuck in these careers or these jobs that they're not fulfilled and they aren't happy in what they're doing. So tell us a little bit about what happiness looks like and feels like for you.
Um, so I've told you this story, and so when we were almost about to have Hugh, actually, right before we had Grace, my parents every single year for New Year's watch the kids for a few nights, and Ben and I go on a retreat and we read books and we went for a long walk. We were in Napa and we just said, what if we could remove all constraints? What would our lives look like if we didn't have to have these jobs? If we didn't have to live, pay our mortgage or have all these pain, like what would this look like? And we were about to have our daughter, and we weren't sure if we wanted to raise our daughter in LA. And my husband's always loved the mountains, and so he said, okay, like Park City, let's go. And so we up and moved, and we took it, but yes, it's hard and painful and stressful. And we moved back to LA because we said, no, actually, LA is really the best place for us. And but it's really challenging. And then saying, okay, this is what I want. These are the needs that I have. These needs my partner have. Let's write them down, and then you put it. And you're like, okay, let's make that happen. And so sometimes it is deprioritizing people. Sometimes it is having people exit your life. Having there's a lot of positive self-talk and saying, I want this. I can achieve this. It's a ton of work, but really just having that dedication, but finding and then really figuring out like we live in an RV right now, and that's what makes me happy because I get to spend time with my kids. We get to travel. We get to explore the country in different places in a small area, and also gets me out of my, we go on the walks. We're in nature a lot. I've realized in my mid 40s the things that really make me happy, and so it's moving my life around those priorities.
Love it. And I've always been inspired by what you and Ben do on New Year's. And I always have this book. It's literally a black notebook. And I put on the top of it just like creating my reality and living out and creating my manifestations. And the power of writing things down is is really incredible. And the ability to go back and look at what your goals were even like 3 months ago is so interesting to see the evolution of not only just your mindset, but your goals and what you want to accomplish. And then I think looking back and saying, I've accomplished so much. And, having children and having, traveling the country, having this company, having, all of the things that you have, and being able to go back and look since January 1, we've done all of this and it's only, March, something or another. But even those short few months, having it written down, looking at the success you guys have accomplished is really profound and saying, this is what I want, and anything that doesn't get me here is a no. Or, whether it's people, circumstances, or places, it's like living in that truth of what it is you want and going for it. And so one of the things that I love to do is like tangible takeaways. So is there one thing or two things that you could say, what does it look like for women to be successful in 2024?
Um, well, it is figuring out just what we talked about, figuring out what each individual's definition of success is, but then it's going for it. And I really feel like, um, you know, looking back at my life, I went through 14 years of hell from 14 years of infertility, and I just looking back, well, I wish I would have given myself grace and said, okay, this, I, but then also belief. And so I feel like a little belief, a lot of belief, a little grace. I don't know, but that it's really understanding. So first, understanding what your definition of success is, having the confidence that you can go and do it, and then when you can't go full force, some days giving yourself some grace and saying like, manifest it, be out there, share it with the world, because the world will be a better place with all of us doing that.
Amazing. Amazing. So, so, so good. Sarah, where can we watch you? Your Instagram handle, social media.
You want to see RV stories, you can you can watch sarah.jensen.hg, but really the Hugh and Grace is, and we're still a relatively new company, so we'll be building on social, but really bringing in experts like Megan. We have a whole content calendar this year with bringing in experts and just showing, great products. We have a product launching tomorrow. We have always new exciting things, whether we're, our podcast or our social channels, but it's come hang out. We'll come to an RV park near you.
Love it, love it. Yeah, we've had some great barbecues in the Malibu RV park. And Sarah, thank you so much for joining us. I mean, you're an inspiration for me, and I know you're going to be an inspiration for our viewers as well.
Oh, well, Megan, you're fantastic. I hope someone gets to interview you on this, because actually, I'm going to ask you so your tip. So for women to be successful in 2024, what would you say?
Similar to what you've said is looking back, the biggest thing that's always stopped me is myself. It's been fear. And I always go when I'm trying to make a decision of launching a new product or taking this big investment is I write down what's the worst that would happen if it didn't work out. And it's, going back from I'm not going to have any money to where do I have a place to live? And 99% of the things that I'm telling myself is just a made up story. And I think one of the things to be successful is if you don't believe in yourself, no one else is gonna believe in you. So it's really going down and doing like some inner work and like realizing what is the fear that's holding me back. And I think the biggest bet or the biggest risk you have to take is on yourself. And really to be successful in 2024 is confidence and belief and a belief in yourself. So
You're right.
thank you, Sarah. Awesome. Well, Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for watching, and watch out for Sarah. She is doing and has done amazing things, and we look forward to seeing what you're going to do next.
Thank you.